Attention Bears fans. Big news is brewing that could shake up the team's future. A $30 million offensive lineman is on the hot seat, and we're not just talking about any player. Rumors are flying about a potential trade to the Ravens or Saints, and this move could free up some cap space to lock down another key piece on the O-line. And that's not all. An unexpected hero emerged in the last game against the Panthers. A backup came out of nowhere and stole the show with a performance that left everyone speechless. He played so solid that there's already talk about him possibly cracking the starting lineup. Could this surprise be the spark the Bears need to elevate their game? We'll find out soon, so stay tuned. As if that wasn't enough, the Bears are gearing up for something big in London. It's not just another game. The team made a strategic decision to head over early to adjust to the time change and bring their A-game against the Jaguars. How is it possible that a team with Caleb Williams as their future is even thinking about cutting a key offensive lineman? Let me tell you, I'm not surprised. Nate Davis, an O-lineman who signed a $30 million contract in 2023, just hasn't lived up to the hype. Now I gotta ask you, is anyone really shocked by his performance? Because I'm not. His Pro Football Focus PFF grade ranks him 59th out of 79 offensive linemen in the league. Seriously? That's not enough to protect a quarterback who has the potential to be a superstar. Let's be clear. Davis was brought in to keep Justin Fields on his feet in 2023. That didn't happen, and things haven't gotten better in 2024. The reality is, Davis isn't getting the job done, and his contract has no guaranteed money after 2025. So what would a smart team do? Cut him before he becomes a major liability on the O-line. If the Bears want to build around Caleb Williams, they've got to give him the tools to succeed, and Nate Davis isn't one of them. And get this, the team is already considering extending Tevin Jenkins, another O-lineman who's actually shown some real potential. But of course, they'll need cap space for that. And guess who's on the chopping block? That's right, Nate Davis. Now, I'm not saying Nate's career is over. I still think he's got a shot in the league, but it's definitely not here in Chicago. Teams like the Ravens or Saints are looking for help on the offensive line, and they might be willing to take a chance on him. The Ravens, for example, lost both of their starting guards and are experimenting with Falele and Voorhees. But those guys aren't exactly lighting it up. That's where Nate Davis could come in. Not to be an all-pro, but to avoid being a liability. And with Lamar Jackson in his prime, the Ravens need all the protection they can get to compete in the brutal AFC. And don't forget about the Saints. They're in a tough spot too. Derek Carr is playing well, but their O-line is falling apart with injuries. They had to pull Connor McGovern off the Jets' practice squad. Imagine that. If the Saints want to make some noise in the NFC South, they could take a low-risk gamble on Nate Davis and see if he can keep Carr upright. So what's Chicago gonna do now? I ask you, do you think they should keep hanging on to Nate Davis, or should they cut their losses and move on? Because for me, the answer is obvious. The Bears are in a spot where they've got to protect Caleb Williams at all costs, and Nate Davis, with his numbers and current performance, just isn't the guy for the job. Now I ask you, where were all those critics who said the Bears lacked depth? Because what we saw in the game against the Panthers was just the opposite. A team that is not only ready to compete, but has players who can step up when the starters aren't at 100%. And yes, I'm saying it with confidence. Bill Murray stepped up in a way we never imagined. How is it that performances like this aren't talked about more? I'll tell you, it's not common for a player who wasn't on anyone's radar, a backup to come in and dominate like Murray did on Sunday. 37 snaps without allowing a single pressure, not a hit on the quarterback, none at all. What does that mean for the Bears' offensive line? I think with Jenkins' injuries, we're going to see more of this kid, and don't be surprised if we see him competing for a starting spot. An 85.7 in pass blocking and a 79.2 in run blocking. Friends, you don't see that every day. I'm saying it loud and clear. The future of the offensive line could be in these kinds of players who seize their opportunity to the fullest. But wait a minute, let's not forget the rest. Tevin Jenkins leading the group with a rating of 84.5, Braxton Jones also solid with a 73.5, and of course the ever-reliable Cole Kmet with a 73.1. This is the kind of performance we need to see week in and week out if we want to make it to the playoffs. Are you with me or what? Now let's move on to the defense. This is where the surprises came in. Jalen Jones, a backup, Yes, a backup led with a 92.0. I ask you, who expected that? Nobody. Jones was flawless, breaking up both passes thrown his way, and Kevin Byard with a crucial interception and a 91.7 rating is just impressive. These guys are proving that the Bears' defense has what it takes to fight. If we keep seeing performances like this from our key players and our backups, watch out. Rival teams better get ready. But not everything is rosy, friends. Let's talk about those who fell short. Jack Sanborn, what happened? Last week you were on top, and now you're at the bottom with a 42.2. What's going on with that inconsistency? This isn't something the Bears can afford to ignore if we really want to compete in an increasingly tough division. And Doug Kramer Jr. with that 44.3, a clipping penalty that wiped out a touchdown from Caleb Williams. You can't make those mistakes in the NFL, period. Those mistakes cost you games. Now I ask you, Bears fans, after seeing what our backups can do and what the stars have delivered so far, what do you expect from this team in the coming weeks? Because I'll tell you, if Murray and Jaylon Jones keep performing this way, Matt Eberflus's decisions about the starters are going to get very interesting. I can't wait to see what happens when Jenkins is at 100%. Is the Chicago Bears' preparation in London really going to make a difference? I'll tell you this. Yes, I believe it will. The team decided to travel early, and not just on a whim. It's to adjust their biological clocks and maximize performance. Now I ask you, is this the best strategy? I think so. Eberflus, the Bears' head coach, isn't treating this trip like a European vacation. Not at all. This is a calculated plan to ensure the team is focused and ready for the showdown on Sunday against the Jaguars. Now, when Colmet was asked whether this long trip was a hassle, I'll tell you this. Kmet made it clear. For him, it's a golden opportunity for the team to connect, align, and come back stronger. And there lies the key. Kmet doesn't see this as a hurdle, but as a moment of unity. The team will travel early, adjust to the new schedule, and be ready to hit the field hard in London. But beware, not everything is perfect. Eberflus, after his trip to Italy, learned one thing. Jet lag is real, folks. That's why the team will have a full week to adapt, and not just that. They'll be practicing on a field specifically designed for NFL teams, located an hour outside London. It's a setup designed for the Bears to train, adapt, and keep their routine intact. Because guess what? Focus on routine is crucial. Eberflus said it clearly. Keep your routines, don't change anything. And he's right. Players need to stick to their preparation, just as if they were at home. I'm telling you this, if the team follows their plan to the letter, they could pull off a surprise on Sunday. Oh, but let's not forget something interesting. Remember 2019? The Bears under Matt Nagy lost in London against the Raiders. What was the difference? They arrived late with not enough time to adjust. So history has taught us that arriving early can be key. The numbers don't lie. 12 of the 19 teams that arrived early in London won. And speaking of experience, who has more experience playing in London than the Jacksonville Jaguars? They've played there 11 times and won both games in 2023. I'm telling you this, the Jaguars know how to travel and win in London, and the Bears will have to fight tooth and nail to take that advantage away from them. So here's the deal. Do you think Chicago should cut Nate Davis before the season ends? Or should they give him one last chance? I believe the team needs to be smart, assess what they truly need to protect their star quarterback, and make an informed decision. I'm reading your thoughts in the comments, Bears family. My question for you is this. Should the Bears keep Bill Murray as a starter if he continues to perform at this level, or should Tevin Jenkins automatically reclaim his spot once he's healthy? Drop your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more fresh news about our Chicago Bears. So Bears fans, now I ask you this. Will this long trip and the full week of adjustment be the factor that brings them victory? Is this the strategy that will finally break the losing streak in London? I believe so, but I want to hear what you think. Do you think Eberflus's planning is enough to take down a team as experienced in London as the Jaguars? Leave your comments. I want to know your opinions. And I'll see you next time with more of your daily dose of Chicago Bears news.